Going to do another face-off today. Well, I've got two rather nice razors, I must say. One of them is one of these, get it right, Macleod. I had 5 of these. They are a wedge. They're a near wedge, I guess. Nothing is a true wedge unless it's one of the real old ones. These are made by Joseph Rogers. Lovely, beautiful natural scales. Could actually clean these ones up a little bit more, I think. I ain't really touched these razors in the way of cosmetics yet. I just wanted to see whether I could get an edge on them, because they're a wedge. I'm not as experienced as much in honing the wedges basically, and they are a skill in itself, I believe. They're definitely the hardest thing to hone, other than like the real old ones, which I wouldn't even attempt at this moment. And also, I've got a new razor to me. It came in the post yesterday and I am very happy with it. It is a Feon, and it's a beautiful razor. I've been after a Japanese razor for a good while. This is a 5800 Feon, Swedish steel. It had to be Swedish steel for me. And on the back it says Kikuboshi Razors Co. FT or something like that, and their little crest emblem thing. The scales are in lovely condition. I paid a pretty penny for it, but sometimes, like I said, I've been after a razor for a long time. Sorry, a Japanese razor for quite a long time, and I really want a Parker, so I will be getting one, because I really like the end. So yeah, but I'd like a Parker that's somewhere around the 21 kind of mil mark, but I can't wait to shave with it, let's put it that way. It's meant to be the higher sort of carbon steel. I forget what the actual name of the steel is called, or at least from what I can read. There's not really that much out there on them Feon, or the brand. There is a good website that has got quite a bit of information on a lot of those Japanese brands, like the Parkers, the Capes, the Gold Rexes. The Gold Rex is another razor brand that uses, or at least on some of their razors anyway, like the higher compound of carbon. Like the hard steel don't put me off one bit really. If anything, that's what I prefer. I've got my Wade and Butcher barber's use done now. I polished up the scales yesterday, so I'm going to do a video on that soon. I tried to contact the person in America that I bought it from, but I'm not sure if he's seen the message yet or not, but he hasn't replied, so, but I'll try another way of getting hold of him. If not, because it was his uncle's basically. He was selling some of his dear uncle's bits and bobs off, and he come across that razor, and I ended up buying it. It took over a month to get here. It had a tiny little chip in it, and that chip took forever to get out. Oh, by the way, anyway, look, special, eh? I've actually got a new towel. Basically, my missus has been moaning that I'm using her towel to clean my razors in between, and there's a few marks going on them. So she got me a nice black towel. So thank you very much, wifey. Don't use girls' towels, eh? It's actually like a head one you put on your head, like a turban thing, after you've had a shower or bath. Right, I'm going to start with the old Japanese Feon. Let's have a listen to the sound. Oh, the grind. The grind, I think, is maybe a little bit over half hollow. I don't know if you can see that. It's definitely not a full hollow, and from what I'm reading, the Japanese like their half hollow, so maybe it's a half hollow, but you know, I know it's so subjective, these bloody, you know. Well, it's a very quiet razor. Well, compared to some of the ones I've been using. It's not that quiet really if I think about it. But that is buttery smooth. The fella, it comes with a J-nap edge on it. I forget how you say it. But that's very smooth, very gentle. Tip's good. Well, the Japanese are known for their knives and steel and swords, obviously. And this is a fine mini sword. Very nice. Very impressed. Lovely jubbly. I'll definitely be keeping this for the foreseeable future, that is for sure. Possibly forever. Definitely has fulfilled my expectations and hopes for a nice Japanese razor. In a way, I hope this wedge it don't feel too good, it needs a bit more work. Let's see. Right, let's go for the old Josie. It feels different in the hand, it's got a lovely thumb notch. It's quite a wide one, a bit wider than the old CV. There's a bit of rust here and there on the old tang, a bit inside, but I'd never take the scales off of this to fix the rust. Well, it's wildly different feel. Less noisy. I should have maybe put the light on today. We're heading into winter here in the good old UK. Been a miserable few days. Tip's good. Toe even, tip toe. Just a wildly different feel to it. But she's taking the air off nice. You can go at a more sort of tighter angle, I find, with the wedges. To get in your nooks and crannies a little bit more with the wedges as well, like. Very different experience. It's heavy in the hand as well, there's a lot of metal in that. Even though I think there's at least a couple of mil missing from it as well. They all vary in length, all of them. Yeah, it's a very different experience. Always is though with a wedge. I've had a few wedges that are, I find the little ones actually you can get quite sharper. Let's go for a pass number 2 then, against the grain. Imagine that Japanese is going to be marvellous. Feon. Like I said, there's not much kind of out there really, there's not many for sale, let's put it that way. I think I was quite lucky that I see it quick enough. But it was quite, the higher echelons of vintage straight razors are in price wise. You know, some people are just not willing to pay loads of money for a vintage razor, but I'd rather pay decent money for a vintage razor than some of these soulless new razors I've seen, because the finishing is good on them, the craftsmanship in it is good, and they've been mostly made by a bloody machine. I can certainly understand why the Japanese wanted the Swedish steel as well. Amazing. I was finding my double chin crease there good. You can literally hear it plucking the ears off. It's lovely. Well, I can't wait to shave that one again. I might have a look under the microscope, see if there's any improvements to be had by it, see if there's any, well, whatever's. Might pit it against my best razor, which is the Tough Razor Philharmonica. That's the best one I've had so far. But then I say that, and I ain't shaved with some of my better CVs, like my MK 32. I ain't shaved that for a while, so it actually needs a bit of a restore. That does itself. Pins come a bit loose in the old pivot, and the end of the blade's just catching sometimes. And I noticed this took a tiny little chunk out the end. Like, you can barely see it with the eye, so I know it's little, but it's not nice to see. So I've got to sort it. Silent nearly, this wedge. Which is always a common thing. The wedges are always quieter. Angle was too much there, so I backed off. Almost instinctively realised as soon as it touched my skin. And that's one of the keys to not getting cut up. Well, that's still a really good shave though with the wedge. I'm happy with that. One of its brothers or sisters I did a test shave with, and it weren't up to scratch. So I've got two that are definitely like what I'd call shave ready. They're decent. I think there might be a few improvements to add. Again, I will have a quick look at this one, but because I've got not that much experience with wedges, it's hard to tell. Other than the little one, I've got a lot of experience with the little CVs, the 24s and the Hellbergs. I've got a lot of experience with a lot of them because I've had a lot of them. Hence why I sell quite a lot of them. Seem to rotate them quite quick. Right, well, I'm going to get washed up. I've got to go and get the sprog. What's going on here? So I'm going to lather up, let it sink in for a bit, wash everything down, dry everything, strop, dry again, make sure everything's dry. I don't really do aftershave and stuff. I very rarely get any form of irritation. I'm kind of lucky in that way. Might change as I get older, I know. Good old exfoliate. That's what this big old brush is good for. And lastly but not least, after I've let the razors sit out for just a little while, I'll just use one of them jeweller's cloths. Give everything a good rub down, and I find that really helps keep everything nice and shiny. Even use it on the old shaving brush handle sometimes. Seems to help that as well. Okay. Us men and our shiny things. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you because I've got to get going. So, adios. I'll see you next time maybe. Cheers. Bye bye.